glanced upon as soon as I opened up the app.
The BBC.com.
Oh, BBC. This is not even BBC Africa or any
this
one
is
of
BBC.
The BBC
World
the BBC.
Service.
Indeed. So
What
the
did they
story reads as follows. Ghana temporarily shuts embassy in US over alleged visa scandal. Now, Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister has announced that the country has temporarily closed its embassy in the US capital amid an investigation into an alleged visa scam. Now, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa said the embassy will be shut following the damning findings of an audit team he put together to investigate alleged corruption at the Washington diplomatic mission. Now, the statement added that the closure would last a few days until restructuring and systems overhaul is finalized. Now, according to Honorable Ablakwa, a locally recruited staff member and collaborators were allegedly involved in a fraudulent scheme whereby they extracted money from visa and passport applicants. So guys, follow along. Now, it's alleged that the scheme consisted of creating an unauthorized link on the embassy's website to redirect visa and passport applications to a private firm where they then charge extra for multiple services without the knowledge of the foreign ministry. Now, Honorable Ablakwa added that the staff member kept the entire proceedings in their private account. This scheme has been going on for 5 years.
5 years?
For 5 years. So check it out. You're an applicant and you're seeking a visa. You were charged an unapproved fee, not approved by the ministry, ranging from $30 all the way through to $60 US. Yes, and this goes privately to a private account.
That's the Ghana Travel Consultants.
Indeed.
That's the company.
That's the company. Now, this conduct has been reported to the Attorney General for possible prosecution and retrieval of funds obtained through fraudulent schemes, Ablakwa added. As a result, foreign ministry staff in Washington have been recalled home, and all locally recruited staff at the embassy have been suspended. President John Mahama's government will continue to demonstrate zero tolerance for corruption, naked conflict of interest, and blatant abuse of office. Again, coming from Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa.
Phone line now, I speak to Dr. Yao Gebe. He is an international relations expert. Doc, good morning. Thank you very much indeed for your time.
Good morning.
This global shame that has been brought upon us allegedly by Mr. Kwarteng, does it come to you as a shock?
Well, thank you. I am not convinced by the word you use, global shame. What does that mean?
Well, we have, what do you call it, a mission out there. We've put people, diplomats out there who we believe will represent us well and lift high our flag. And then you find that somebody has put a certain link unapproved on a website, taking monies ranging from about $29 to $60 from visa applicants and passport applicants. You don't agree that's a global shame that came upon us?
I don't think it's a global shame. It's an individual, activity to enrich himself. And that has to be, it's not a global shame. That's the way I look at it. And that individual has to be thoroughly dealt with as a issue.
But this individual was not working on his own. In fact, he wouldn't have had access to our website if he didn't have a diplomatic passport and diplomatic credentials to have worked in there. As it stands now,
so he's working in an embassy there in Ghana, and therefall those who are found capable, who are involved in particular incidents, must be rendered accordingly, so that the law can permit us.
So you don't agree that what has been brought upon us is a global shame?
No, I don't agree with that definition or interpretation that it's a global shame. When we talk about global shame, then the entire state, Ghana as a state, is probably undermined or probably rendered useless.
Sorry, you'd have to reposition yourself. Your line is not so clear.
I am directly in front of my my phone speak to you. I have not done anything.
Doc, you would have to please listen to me so that we can work together.
Yeah, sure. We are waiting to be.
Okay, so we cannot hear you well. That's why we're asking you to reposition yourself properly.
Go ahead.
Okay, now we can hear you. Go ahead, sir.
I made my point that we are talking about some incidents in the embassy in Washington, D.C., and that this individual has been apprehended and that he is working in a group. And I made the point that this group must be apprehended. The law must be enforced. They should be dealt with according to the law. If there is a need, they should be finished. But I'm disagreeing with you that it is a global shield. That's the word you have used. I was content with you.
So in terms of international relations, and you are supposed to be the expert within that field, I am not. How other countries view us as of now, because we have withdrawn all our staff, back home, and then those who were recruited locally, they have been suspended. You don't think that it still goes into the domain of shame, which will then be rubbed onto Ghana? Because if somebody lives in Washington, D.C., their perspective of our embassy will be that there's a possibility that in future a similar thing could happen. You don't think it's shameful?
Thank you very much. My dear friend, a particular incident has happened in our embassy, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, in charge of the government, have taken a particular course of direction. Those people should be apprehended. They have been apprehended. The embassy has been closed down for a period of time to actually investigate what went on. And then the committee measures will be taken and appropriately dealt with what is happening. But this issue about shame, I say I disagree with you. It's not a shame. If there is a problem, and that problem is going to be corrected, it should be corrected. That's what I'm talking about.
So, if I hear you right, you are suggesting that the individual responsible should have been singled out and the office shouldn't have been shut down. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it can be shut down. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, I completely agree with him. But it can't be forever. After the relevant necessary investigation, the countries can, identify punishment is given, and the necessary adjustments are done, then things will return to normal. And I think that is what we are doing right now. What is happening. I don't want to probably create an impression that the whole military institution is collapsed. No, it's just one study. And it's a human institution. Okay, so if there is a problem with a human institution and those who are responsible are taken out for punishment, I think that's the right thing to be done.
So that if I live in Washington, D.C. this morning and I require some services from the mission or the office, and I learn that it has been shut down, and because of that, I would have to make other arrangements to go to another state, maybe New York or some other place, to go and get the same service. You think that I should not consider it shameful? Indeed, I should be okay with it and say that an individual did that. Is that what you are saying, international relations expert?
I think that you drop the word shame. A lot of these things happen internationally. The whole airports are shut down because of problems either electrical or otherwise. Okay, so this thing has happened in our embassy. So the necessary actions have been taken. If you have applied for this, if you have applied for any kind of activity from the embassy, this issue is going on. The next thing is that we take some, precautionary measures. We have to wait on for another 1 week, 3 days, and then go back when things come to normality. Or you go to an alternative arrangement. Maybe you go to New York before we have another embassy there. I don't think that's what has come to the world. So, Ghana is functioning. All the other 58 embassies are friendly around the world. This is just one issue. And I think that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Minister, is seeing the issue. And appropriate measures will be taken. Those who are found capable will be punished. That's where I'm coming from. I believe that the right thing is being done. But I don't agree with you about this issue of shame. Ghana has not been. ashamed. Ghana is rather putting measures to ensure that the right thing is being done. And I think that the Ministry of Affairs through the government of this country is in the appropriate thing.
Well, I thought that my understanding of the word shame was faulty until I checked the Oxford English Dictionary right now. It says an action that is regrettable or unfortunate, a situation or an action. This is regrettable, this is unfortunate, yes. So why can it not be described as shameful?
You know something? If you are going to do this with shame, then I'm going to suggest to you that it is unique. What has happened in the embassy in the United States is unique. It happens regularly in other jurisdictions. So we single this out and tackle it appropriately. I must still insisting that we have not brought Ghana to its knees. Ghana is still a functioning state. If there is a job, address that job. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Dr. Yalgebe, I thank you very much indeed for your time. As an international relations expert, we're grateful. So he disagrees with the description that it is shameful. Indeed. Let's go on to Dr. Daniel Jameni Kipo Sunyezi. Doc is a research fellow with Legon Lesiad. Doc, thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak on this important issue.
How did you feel when you heard that our representatives in Washington, D.C., or one or two of them were misconducting themselves instead of lifting the flag high? Did you feel ashamed?
I think that it is an act that would have been prevented right from the word go. This is a very serious diplomatic issue that Ghana's official website been linked to fraud. It shouldn't have even taken more than a year for this to be detected and appropriate measures taken to correct it. So I see this as very unfortunate and not the best of Ghana's diplomatic image. Ghana has a very good image, and we don't expect such a thing to happen. Having said it's unfortunate, I also want to commend the sector minister for being proactive, because detecting it, swiftly investigating, and getting to the matter of it is very, very important and very timely. So on that note, I think that the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Honorable Oblakwa, has done a very good job by putting it up. What should be done is that this closure should not take us so many days, because it could cost us a lot of money and could not help the Ghana's image. So on that note, I think that the investigation or whatever action is taken should be very swift, so that as quickly as possible, we should be able to get some of the diplomatic staff back to work, because this is Ghana's biggest diplomatic mission.
Right.
Washington, D.C. It must not linger for long.
Great. Dr. Ansong, Edward Danso Ansong is joining us on Zoom. He's a senior lecturer and head of cybersecurity lab, Department of Computer Science at University of Ghana. Doc, good morning. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, good morning, and thank you very much for having me.
Great. Doc, how did we miss this with all the expertise that we have, that somebody within the mission could, do such a thing, to be diverting funds and working as if they're working for us, but they're working for themselves? How did we miss it?
Thank you very much once again. In fact, when this news started breaking, I felt so embarrassed. I felt so ashamed that as a country, upon all the laws we have, upon all the protocols that we adapt to, all over Africa and the world at large, we are one of the leading as far as cybersecurity is concerned. We are tier 1 nation, and for us to suffer this, it's a global shame. And to be honest, I feel so embarrassed even where I am now to hear people even talk about it, because this has to do with a whole lot of breakdown breakdown of the needed protocols that we were supposed to have followed. This is a clear lack of segregation of duties because as far as I am concerned, for a system to be managed by an IT staff, there are various levels of access controls. Who clears what must be put out there, because it's the face of the country. And for us to now announce what has actually transpired in terms of, such a fraud, and this, I find it strange because normally for even small companies, before any information is posted out there, it needs to go through clearance for people to, approve before the final information is posted out. And for a payment system, a link that takes us to another, page, and for this not to be noticed, this is very strange and so embarrassing to the nation.
Is this in the future preventable? Can we prevent a future occurrence of this nature? Because we're going to recall people back, assuming without admitting that Mr. Kwarteng is found to be the one who did this. He's not going to work there anymore, but there's going to be a replacement for him. Can we prevent this in future?
In the first place, it shouldn't have even happened at all because there are protocols in such infrastructure. I don't really understand the levels of controls, the access controls measures that they have. Because even as far as I'm concerned, for a system such as this, every 3 to 6 months, there is always an audit of an application, a web application.
Right.
And that's what we actually do. So if these protocols were all to have been followed, I don't think we would have even gotten to this stage. And this is really embarrassing, I must say.
Dr. Dramani, let me come back to you and ask you how this goes to affect bilateral relations. There are many countries who have missions in the United States who deal with us on a regular basis. I'm sure they'll be looking at us with, some squint or some double eyes or some magnifying lens. What should we be doing at this point?
Yeah, I think diplomatically, well, this might not cause so much of diplomatic disruption of bilateral relation or at the multilateral level. Fortunately, we still have the New York, which is in charge of multilateral UN and other issues. And I believe that they could conduct other activities in Washington on behalf of the country. And in terms of bilateral relations, as I said, our permanent mission is in New York. So if we have any agent bilateral engagement that Ghana, I'm sure some of the permanent staff at New York will easily render such a service to Ghana. So bilateral or multilateral, I believe that it is very unfortunate issue.
Hello, Doc. You seem to be moving through a tunnel, or?
Yeah, the place is hilly, but
right.
I'm at a spot not moving.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm saying that it might not affect our bilateral relations much because we still have a permanent mission in New York which can take care of some of the issues. If Ghana has any bilateral dealing, I'm sure our permanent mission in New York can take care of that.
What residual steps would you advise the Minister for Foreign Affairs to take beyond shutting down the office, withdrawing staff, and then also those who are recruited locally being suspended? What should he be doing post that?
Yes, the decision has already been taken. I would have wished that the best was to get new staff on board. You should have done mass transfer instead of closure, but we don't know what the reports, what the investigation, what they recommended. Instead of closing such a very big mission, they could have done a transfer, internal transfer, move all the staff out, and then bring new ones. That's so that we wouldn't have experienced this temporary closure. What is the way forward is that we need to tighten monetary evaluation. And as I said earlier, if we had an effective effective monetary evaluation mechanisms in place, this kind of fraud should not have even triggered within a year. Within a year, we should have detected it and appropriate measures taken against it. So the monitoring is not effective. So we need to tighten it, even if we call for getting other group of officers to take charge of monetary evaluation. That is very important. The ministry need to look into it.
Right.
And also in terms of recruitment, I think that the ministry need to look into it. The permanent workers, they have been given a lot of rigorous training, including training at Lesia and other institutions, which is very robust. I think that same level of seriousness and attention should be given to temporary staff. Because once you bring a temporary staff and the person is not properly trained, it's not given the right orientation, their action and inaction can bring Ghana's image into public disrepute. So it is very, very important that we pay attention to all staff, whether permanent or temporary.
Right.
That will be the way forward for the future of Ghana.
I see.
Image.
I want to thank you very much, Dr. Dramani Kipo Sunyezi, his research fellow with ICAD. We're grateful for your time. Let me come to you now. Doc on Zoom, you have the closing thoughts. So now, what's next?
Yes. What I will say is this particular investigations needs to be expanded. To be honest, for such an act to remain undetected for all this while means there was a breakdown in incident response, and I believe that there is no single person that can ultimately, carry out this particular breach without the detection for all these years, we are told. So I believe that it needs to be expanded just beyond just an individual, but whoever also reneged on their responsibility in performing their roles. And then this should not just be limited to only a single mission. It must also be extended to all others.
Right.
And we need to have a framework, a single formalized framework for the payment systems, for updates of the systems and the website, and so on and so forth. So this never occurs again.
I thank you very much indeed. Dr. Edward Danso Ansong is a senior lecturer, head of cyber security lab at the University of Ghana, Legon. We're grateful that you could join us, sir. Great. And he joined us all the way from the United States of America. We'll take a quick break. When we return from this break, there's Womenpreneur and some more content here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. It's only 32 minutes after 9. My name is Johnny Hughes. See you shortly.
City's not picking promotion. As you requested, we have dropped our prices for you. So rush to any Electroland showroom or authorized dealer store across Ghana and grab your desired Samsung, TCL, Media, and NASCO appliances at unbeatable prices for your favorite TVs, refrigerators, air conditioners, washing machines,